Hi, this is Dr. Green. We're looking at some t-tests for the Session 4 examples. So in the video that is on Blackboard, they do a very good job of telling you how to do the t-test, but they didn't do a summary, and they also did not do an example of independent samples t-test. So let's start with that. So our question in this example is we want to determine if there is a difference here in home prices between the cities that are given. All data are in thousands of dollars. So the question is just determine a difference. So it doesn't say greater or less. So this is a two-sided test. So when we generate our table, we're going to use the two-tailed p-value. So in Boston, here we have our house prices in thousands of dollars. So that's 258,000, 225,000, etc. So that's a random sample. Then a random sample of houses in Chicago area. So in order to compute the t-test here, we want to go to the Data tab, click on Data Analysis, and then we are going to come down to the bottom here, and you've got several options for t-tests. These are independent samples. We sampled some houses from Boston, and then independent from those, we sampled houses from Chicago. It's not a before and after or a pre and post setup. So that's going to be this second option here, which is t-test to sample, assuming equal variances. Most of the time you will assume equal variances. We're going to click on OK. And now we have to specify variable 1 range and variable 2. Now, it's going to perform the t-test on the difference of variable 1 minus variable 2. So if you think one variable is greater, you want to use that as variable 1. Well, here we don't know which one is greater. So the variable 1 range, I'm just going to let that be Boston. And then for the variable 2 range, I'm going to let that be Chicago. So I just dragged over those, and I included the labels. So I'm going to click the label box there. Our hypothesized mean difference, we just want to tell if they're different or not. So we're going to put a 0 in there. Alpha 0.05, that's our default. Let's go ahead and specify an output range. So we're going to click in there, and then just click where you want the upper left-hand corner of your table. So I just click that box there. We'll click OK. And there's our two-sample t-test output. So the mean for the Boston houses was 226. Mean for Chicago was 211.75. And the t-test will tell if those are statistically significantly different. Now, we're just testing difference here, not greater, not just greater or just less than, difference. Okay, so we want to use the two-tailed p-value right here. And we see that that p-value is 0.54, and that 0.54 is greater than 0.05. So this is not a significant difference between the two of these. So now they want you to do a write-up of the results in APA format. And that is the part that was not included in the example that was on Blackboard. So that write-up might look something like this. We're interested in knowing if the mean home price in Boston is different. Okay, we just want to know different. Is it different from Chicago? So we did an independent samples t-test that was conducted on the home price data. The Boston mean was 226.75. And again, that is right here. And then the Chicago mean, 211.75. So that's right here. And a significant difference here was not found, okay, because our p-value is greater than 0.05. And then it's common practice to list your t-value. And then inside here, this number 14, that's our degrees of freedom, which is 1 less than the sample size. Actually, we've got here 2, 4, 6, 8 times 2, 16, actually 2 less than the sample size. And so this indicates that the data indicate here that our home prices are not different in the two cities. So our statistical conclusion here is that p is greater than 0.05. We do not reject the null hypothesis that the home prices in the two cities are the same. And then our practical conclusion is that the home prices are not different. So you want to make sure to include that summary of the the output from the t-test. You've got to tell what the important values are and what they mean practically.